What the fuck is this?
Tell me, was that Monster Hunter to you? Look, we're going to talk about Frontier today. Hello, fellow hunters, and welcome. And before you instantly close the video as someone who enjoys Frontier, this is not going to be a hate rampage, okay? If you like the game, more power to you, right? Life is too short to feel any kind of remorse for liking something that you like, and I personally don't dislike Frontier in the sense of it like existing as a game people can play. Like if I had a big delete button with Frontier reading above it, I wouldn't be tempted.
Ooh, what does this button do? Please, do not push the button.
Any positive Monster Hunter experience I am all for. Though the point of contention for me really is Frontier's got to the point that I would argue it's only Monster Hunter in name and not a lot else. See, I do regularly throw a little bit of shade at the Frontier monsters, and so many of you have asked, well, essentially, well, why not have a quick little discussion about it? So, here is my opening statement. Because of Frontier, we have Levisioth in World. Yep, Frontier monster first. Could have probably been Agnacta, maybe, without that invention. So, yeah, I guess I'm done here. That's Frontier monsters trash, thank you, and goodbye. I don't want to then delve into the game's systems, mechanics, the loop, because I've not played it myself, and it therefore wouldn't be fair to be like, no, it sucks, without me having given it a fair shot. All I do know is that anyone who I have asked who has played both the main series game and a decent chunk of Frontier has essentially gone, yeah, Frontier's fun, but it doesn't feel like Monster Hunter. And look, from everything I've seen, I can honestly understand that sentiment, but I, as you know, am all about that creature, nature, animalistic, almost believable side that makes Monster Hunter tick. The animals before bosses philosophy that gives that just special something to every hunt. Right? That's the key. They are hunts, they are not boss fights. And you might think I'm splitting hairs, because yes, technically, they are also boss fights. But the presentation and feeling is everything. I am a hunter hunting an animal via the gameplay system of a player fighting a boss, but you still feel hunter hunting animal. Whereas Frontier, and this is the one comment on gameplay I will make, looks like it plays like a spammy action Devil May Cry type clusterfuck fiesta against monstrosity demon craziness out of high fantasy magic born destruction beasts that, while a lot of them fucking badass, objectively cool, that is an awesome fantasy design, they're not monsters. They're not believable creatures in any sense of the word. And that's the heart ripped out once you lose that. It's the entire point. Monster Hunter. If you're no longer feeling like you're hunting monsters, you're not playing Monster Hunter. That's my feeling. And I accept that I might be in the minority here. I feel like a lot of people don't really care for that. They just want to fight cool things using cool things, and hey, that's totally fine too. I know I might be coming across it, but I genuinely do not want to sound, yes, you're not really monster hunting playing Frontier. I mean, you think you are, but oh, that's just precious. I don't want to give that kind of elitist vibe. I just want to put across why for me, it just, you know, it's just a big load of whenever I see a Frontier monster fight, as opposed to the more measured approach of well, main series Monster Hunter. And again, that's as comfortable a statement as I feel like making from all of the high-end content I've watched. It just seems this hectic, ridiculous rush down of what the fuck am I looking at visual clutter to destroy something before you time out, because apparently the power creep is hilarious in Frontier. But again, monsters, 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 buy yours today. So I don't want to just use, well, the one black dragon in Frontier, because black dragons can take a few liberties. They can be a little bit ridiculous. So let's take, I don't know, a variant on Diablos. Yep. So this Diablos became this. Are you ready for this? Because long ago, a group of Diablos moved to a volcano, and the heat changed them, and then they stayed because they like a species of cacti there. I mean, the Diablos are cacti eaters, so...
Well, I'm convinced.
Come on! You don't become a fucking blazing flame explosion demon because I moved to a hot area and the heat, right, it affected me. I'm sorry. I lived in Spain for 4 years. I can't fucking breathe fire. And again, I'm taking an example to, of course, support my point, but you see this across the entire roster. And if I had to describe everything in a word, it would be over-designed. It just feels like, have we got enough spikes on this, guys? We can't release this. We need to meet the spike, sticky out bit, jaggedness quota. Otherwise, we're going to lose our jobs here. Honestly, guys, we need to put more just shit on this monster. And it just, they feel like fanfiction projects. For the most part, there are some that I actually quite like, such as this colourful, pretty little bird. I am actually really enamoured with it. I think when you see it in-game moving around, it suddenly loses a lot of the charm. It just looks like a ball of green with legs, but at the very least, it's quite a pretty little design in artwork form, and I can get behind it. I also kinda like the Tordicless. It's, again, not too over-the-top crazy, a lovely smattering of colour, and look, there is definitely a few Frontier monsters that I would actually like in the main series. There's a few that I think would fit nicely, but I guess if I was going to put it in some sort of perspective, for me, when I first saw the roster of Frontier, this is the experience that I had.
The fuck? The fuck? The fuck is in the air. The fuck? There's shit everywhere. The fuck? I must be fucking baked and this shit's probably fake. The fucking hell did I just take? The fuck? The fuck? The fuck? There's something fucking wrong. The fuck? The fuck? Holy hell, these things are creepy. The fuck is this? The fuck?
And that's gonna sound harsh, and it probably is. It's probably overly harsh, right? It takes a lot of work and effort to bring a monster of any shape and size to life, and I don't want to discredit the team behind these, okay? They're really... I mean, if I personally don't like them, I can't deny they are striking, they are interesting. You don't forget them, whether that's for good or for bad. And ultimately, if they were just enemies in a fantasy magical game, I'd probably be super down. As I said, the feeling, the context, the presentation matters. Because I'm viewing them as monsters in Monster Hunter, suddenly... and I think that's the key to understand here, whether you think that intangible feeling is worth anything, or you disagree with me and think that it's not. That is fair enough. I want a discussion here. I don't just want to slam into it. But I just... Look, it's not canon either, right? Nothing that is a Frontier exclusive is an actual canon monster. Nothing that hasn't appeared in a main series title is. So that's a... big reason for me, probably joint, well, as big as just the design of them, as to why I kinda dismiss them, right? Because they might as well be fanfiction, as I mentioned earlier. It seems silly to talk about something that isn't, air quotes, real, but it is more real than me just coming up with my own monsters like I did, right? I don't want to walk into the irony trap here, so it's an interesting one for me, and admittedly the calmer, earlier stuff, a lot of it I think does quite work. This little brute wyvern, I really think is quite a nice little beastie. I could see him wandering around the ancient forest. That's what I like to see. But even then, on the more, let's say, tamer end, you have a brute wyvern that's supposed to be aquatic. It's got fins and frills and a more fish-like tail. It doesn't look over the top, but it does look kinda ugly, right? And this might be the most superficial example yet, but it just... not a pretty one, not a looker, not at all. And yes, you might say, really? Like, Kezu, it looks like a white dick. What the fuck? But the point is, I don't mean ugly in the not pretty sense. I mean just bad form. While a Kezu isn't attractive, at least to most, it still is objectively a cool design, but it's designed to be repulsive, right? That's the point. It's supposed to be eerie. That just looks... you know, again, shallow reason, but I think you can see what I'm getting at. But then you contrast with really, really inspired creations like this lone species of Daimyo Hermita with crystalline formations on its claws that could easily fall as a deviant, and I think is really on point. I could totally believe that, and I actually would kinda like to fight it. And again, to give a little bit more balance to this whole spiel, I have long thought, and kinda still do, that deviants to a lesser extent, but Hunter arts have been a little bit too much for Monster Hunter. I did not like Generations and actually did not play it for the longest time because the Hunter arts put me off. They seem just excessive. What? That's not leaping through the air and anime spin, giga drill the fuck is just, that's not how you hunt. What? I admit to being quite purist about this, and I didn't really like it. They've grown on me a little. I'll use them. It's fine. It's a spinny off anniversary, not the world team. Okay, I will deal. Deviants, again, are really pushing, I think, the absolute limits for me of what a monster should be pulling out in an actual Monster Hunter game. So it's not like the original series is completely innocent of this kind of over-designed, what the hell are you doing? And actually, this is going to upset a lot of people, okay? I think Zinogre is one of the most Frontier-like designed monsters in the main canon series, because it's spiky everywhere. There's just so many bits and colors, and it just looks like a mess to me. I love him as a monster, right? He's explainable. He's got an amazing biology. His interaction with the bugs and the guaga in this lovely triangle of predator and prey and how they symbiosis and defend each other. It all works and it functions. It's explainable and he acts like an animal. But design-wise, he does look a little bit Frontier. Just throw everything at it, which is actually, now that I think about it and talk about it here, probably the reason I've always kinda not sunk right with Zinogre. So, yeah, you've got that going for it. But, now look, it's entirely likely in this lineup you've been watching, which, by the way, was put together by Ecological. I will put him down below. Just fantastically professionally done. It looks so slick, right? And I'd rather give him some props than do a butchered, worse version myself. So, yeah, he's got a few others up, only like 5 videos in total, but if you are interested in the non-canon monsters, you can't really go better than what he's put together. Either way, though, I'm sure you've seen a lot that you're like, that's actually pretty cool. And yeah, I will admit it too. But the point is, maybe 4 out of 5 Frontier monsters make me go, oh god. Whereas in mainline, only 1 out of 5 Gypsaros makes me go, oh god. And that's kind of the key difference there. And the best example in a vacuum I can put forward is Frontier design philosophy is So, we've got this huge new big baddie for Endgame. He's gonna have spikes growing on his spikes growing on his spikes. And he's going to summon tornado fire ice explosions that crack the earth. And he's gonna move at like 100 miles an hour and do a little twirl. And, well, wait a minute. How is he gonna do all the, what do we say? It's just because it's cool, Steve! Shut up! But, like, they're animals, right? How would they— shut the fuck up, Steve! And the rule of cool is a good rule. It's a rule for a reason. But sometimes you need to rein it in. Whereas in Monster Hunter main series, it's more, okay, we're gonna make them able to do this. How are we going to at least show the animal doing it? Teostra, he's gonna cause explosions around him, but he is an animal and like, Elder Dragons, yeah, powerful, but alright, we'll make it so he produces explosive powder. That's believable, yeah, sure. But then we'll make him spark his teeth together to ignite them like a lighter in a gas-filled room. Yes! And it's that right there, right? That little extra detail. A monster can cause explosions, sure, but if you give it even a thin veneer of how it's actually doing it, that's the soul of Monster Hunter for me. So it's the 1-2 punch of nearly every Frontier monster being one or both of the following: over-designed, ugly, spiky, sticky out, too much going on, what the hell is that? And that makes no sense, and like, there's no explanation. Why is an animal doing that? Come on. And that just turns me off, because it's the reason I like Monster Hunter, the believable nature side. And obviously, the amazing amount of addicting badass fun you can have with it, but I really get sold on, well, the animal. So, to give one final Frontier nod, Inagami. Is that theme not like that's gotta get you hyped? That is quality. You battle this elder dragon in a bamboo forest. He is the bamboo dragon. His body parts shaped to represent parts of the bamboo. His tail then a bamboo shoot that he can plunge into the ground, secrete this hyper growth steroid substance that rapid shoots up bamboo around him to impale aggressors. That whole thing? Yes, that's what I like to see. There really is some gems in amongst the, not gems, let's say. And, well, I don't think his actual physical appearance is that. It's still a little bit, like, I think you could refine it a bit simpler, a bit sleeker, but still, that whole shtick he's got, he essentially is just a monster designed to replicate the actual real form of torture, where you tie someone down and have a bamboo shoot, because they grow this fast, grow through the person tied down. It's kind of gruesome, but damn, is that not creative torture? I mean, high five. Don't do it to people, but good, that's clever. Imagine that. Oh, my word. So, ultimately, I think that Frontier looks like a really fun, decent experience. I just don't think it looks like a good Monster Hunter one. Like, if someone was playing it and I walked in and like, you want to go, I'd be like, yeah, let's do this thing. I really would. And there's every chance I have accidentally been hypocritical. There's every chance I've gotten something wrong, and if so, I apologize. I really do want a civil discussion. I'm trying to convey a feeling I have when looking at these monsters, and it's also entirely possible that simply the knowledge they're not main series canon monsters makes me look upon them more negatively than I would otherwise. But then again, it would hard to ever look at something that looks like this positively. It's look, you know, statistically, a few of you might actually like this thing's just visually, and what's wrong with you? Come on! Alright, guys, that'll do then on that. I hope it, at least, I'm gonna go with helped. I'm actually away this weekend at a convention, so I won't be around when this goes up, so Oh god, the comment's going to be a battlefield. What have I done? What have I done? No, I trust you guys to have civil discussion. You are honestly a fantastic audience for it. My name has been Josh. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. And yeah, look, I actually would do a little bit of lore on the Frontier ones I do genuinely like. So let me know if you would like a follow-up. But for now, a goodbye. I know you're all hungry for a new outro, so while we all wait, I'll give it a bash, cause my videos hit you harder than a true charge slash.